Wave of criticism hitting California elites tonight after many of them were spotted maskless at the Super Bowl yesterday. Politicians and celebrities alike largely ignoring NFL guidelines that attendees wear masks unless actively eating or drinking. The mayor, again, one of them. But California school kids had to mask up today when they showed up. So where do we go from here? To ask Fox News contributor Dr. Jeanette Neshwat and former NFL player Jack Brewer. Great to have you guys back with us.
Hey, Shannon, great to be with you.
Okay, so I'm looking at the protocols here in the NFL. Basically, you had to have, vaccination or a test within a certain amount of time. But they also said that you had to wear a mask unless you were actively eating or drinking. And there's a quote from the vice president of operations for SoFi Stadium where the game was held. He says, actively eating or drinking, don't think that you can get a thing of popcorn and eat it for 2 hours. He says, we're on to you. But Jack, I guess a lot of people were taking 2 hours to eat their popcorn.
Yeah, they were. It was pretty sad to see. I study a lot about the children. And before the pandemic in L.A. County alone, 67% of kids were not proficient in math, and almost 80% not efficient in reading. And so when you start to look at numbers like that, and it's Black History Month, kids across L.A. County are being forced to wear masks. Imagine what their reading and math proficiency levels are right now. As these celebrities and these influencers who oftentimes get on to TV and talk about Black Lives Matter or talk about standing up for the children, they're a bunch of hypocrites, and enough is enough of it. Someone needs to speak out for these voiceless children. Someone needs to speak out for these voiceless families and parents that don't have these big platforms, because this is just wrong. These kids are going through psychological issues. They're having difficulties in school and so many other things that they now need rehabilitation for. And to keep them with these masks on their face, it's just absolutely ridiculous when we see the rest of elite society going on with their lives.
Well, and listen, some of the folks we showed, like The Rock, that was part of a performance. And listen, it wasn't just celebrities, and maybe they were eating or drinking, but it wasn't just them. Doctor, there were a lot of people in the stands who apparently turned down the complimentary mask that was on hand for them. But it seems like a lot of people are saying, and this is a stadium that has open air sides, but still there were guidelines in place there. And certainly for schools, masks are still a thing for kids in California schools. Vaccinations are coming as well. For those who don't have them, some different regulations on that. What should we be doing at this point as kids, as adults, when it comes to masks and making these decisions?
Sure. Well, Shannon, the guidance is outdated. Nobody needed to be wearing a mask in that stadium, especially because the number of hospitalizations, cases have plummeted, and especially for children. With children covering their faces all day long in school, they need to express themselves. Facial expression is one of the most valuable aspects of human-to-human communication. Kids, they convey their emotions, their intentions, their thoughts. They can indicate to us if they're undergoing any physical stress or psychological stress. And we know that the mortality, the death rate in children is near zero at 0.24%, yet we're depriving them of this. When we have nearly a 70 to 80% decrease in the number of cases and hospitalizations, that's it. We've achieved our goals. We've accomplished our mission. We've flattened the curve. And that means we need to adjust our protocols and policies accordingly to what we're seeing now in the community. We can't wear masks in perpetuity. So we need to keep that in mind and adjust accordingly, because this is just becoming frustrated, and it's disheartening to see these community leaders, our lawmakers, these athletes who are saying one thing but not practicing what they preach and not conforming to their own social and moral standards.
Yeah, well, we do have a change in policy here. Sean Davis of the Federalist talks about this kind of whiplash that we've got here in D.C. It says, why is D.C. only nuking the mandates at private businesses? Easy. The mandates destroyed the economy and the city's tax base, and D.C. bureaucrats are desperate for tourist tax revenue. Kids in schools don't have that kind of pull, so the bureaucrats will keep them in masks. Jack, quick final comment from you.
That is exactly right, because these big school districts and teachers union have this money funneling in, and the system, in my opinion, is rigged. It's unfortunate. No one's held accountable. They don't care about these kids reading and writing and being able to go into society. These are the same children, unfortunately, that we see that are robbing and stealing and shooting in the streets, and it comes from the system that's been placed around them that gives them no voice. Let's start standing up for the kids in this country.
Well, I know parents across the country have been very frustrated and, really worry about these effects on their children. So let's hope we continue to make progress moving forward. Jack and Doctor, thank you both very much. See you soon.
Thank you, Shannon.
God bless you.
You too.